Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and who doesn't enjoy a King Lewin versus a Giant Beast matchup? It is going to be Kholek versus Lewin here on the Whirling Maelstrom. Bretonnia versus Warriors of Chaos, and Chaos coming in with a build that's truly one of my favorite styles, which is just big, heavy metal, armored infantry moving up. And, nobody wants those lame Marauders and Marauder Horsemen. Alright, get that out of here. Bring us the good stuff, bring us the big armor. So, looking at Bohemon's army here, it is going to be a front line of Yeoman Archers, which will give them some agency on the objectives out of the gates. And for the rest of the Bretonnian army, it is going to be Damsel of Beasts with double Grail Relique, so using the forbidden Warhammer 2 pencil formation, which was popularized by some Vampire Count players in Warhammer 2, but still is used to this day. So basically, you give your opponent less frontage, and even though your peasants aren't going to do as much damage, they're not there for the damage, they're there for the sponging, right? Peasant Archers in the back, backed up by Battle Pilgrims. Grail Relique, Lewin, and Flock of Doom is going to be one of the best assets that they have against these elite Chaos Infantry. Alright, so Yeoman going to be grabbing the outside objective, and here for the Ultra Chad army here of Martinius, it is going to be Skull Crushers of Khorne with big old Kholek. And yeah, Kholek can drop the hammer on Lewin, for sure. In a straight up fight, I think if they just stood and fought each other, Kholek probably would win. But again, Lewin has the flying advantage, he heals, so there's a couple variables like that that can even things out. Skull Crushers, in theory, very good against Bretonnian cavalry, anti-large, armor piercing. Great weapons, and I know there's a Chosen lurking somewhere, so there is a Chosen of Nurgle, you gotta love it. And in reserve, Kholek, of course, did have a Nurgle caster as well. So the Yeoman going to be grabbing 2 objectives out of the gates, while the big Dragon Ogre going to be moving up and thinking about contesting the point. Lewin pretending like he's going to attack, but certainly I don't think has any intention of doing so. Are there any foot squires in this army? I don't think so, no. And it looks like the Grail Reliques were left behind. They must have been in a different control group, but they'll probably get there before the main line fighting. So really not the end of the world. I would imagine Chaos probably going to send maybe like 2 Great Weapons down here, send the other 3 over to Objective 2 here to fight, and then you can detach one of the Great Weapons that you sent there to reinforce here. That would probably be the correct play. Skull Crushers, I think you just kind of keep them on standby for when the Bretonnian Knights come in and then countercharge. That would be my guess. Nurgle Caster is not out yet. There are going to be some Armored Chaos Trolls, which have been used against Bretonnia since the dawn of time. Now, Knights of the Realm in open field can sometimes still overwhelm their armor, but in general, Chaos Trolls are pretty good. When you stack them on top of infantry, they can fight against any of the Bretonnian Knights because they just have great raw hitting power, 100 weapon strength, decent melee attack at 34, and the armor of 110 is no joke either. Alright, so Kholek going to be parking down on this objective. Bretonnia going to be securing the 2 points and preparing to fight for the lady. Grail Relique's going to be now arriving to the front line here, as we do see the Damsel of Beasts preparing to lurk. And Flock of Dooms, you just want to get the Chosen. Like, you want to make sure every single Flock of Doom is on that Chosen, most likely, just to squeeze that value out. Another Armored Chaos Troll coming in, so he's going to be using the dreaded It's Always Sunny tactics of making him pay the Troll Toll. We'll see if it works out. Double Chaos Warrior moving up, and we do see the Skull Crushers lurking on the hill in the shadows, as Yeoman do a little bit of tickling damage against Chaos Warriors, but their armor should mitigate most of that damage, and they've only lost 1 model so far, and yeah, they'll continue that legacy. Kholek Sun Eater trying to bait some of the ammo out, and Bretonnia does have a couple basic archers as well. So Bohemond here does have, I think, Pox, Fire, and Fire. Fire will be relevant, actually, against the Trolls. Trolls are, of course, weak to fire, so you can get a 22% damage multiplier on those peasants there, and they can do a little bit more work. In the meantime, the peasant mobs have advanced up, and we do see the battle getting underway here, as Chaos has had enough. And, their patience, Chaos Warriors will use tactics sometimes, but really they just cannot resist the Unga or the Cowabunga. Coming in here on the side, it is going to be Questing Knights. Now, Questing Knights will do good damage against Chaos Warriors, but the Chaos Warriors are going to give it right back because they have great weapons. So at the end of the day, probably not cost-effective to send a Questing Knight alone into an Armored Chaos Warrior with a great weapon. If it were a shield version, I would say leave him there all day. So Sword of Crone activated, and some of the Trolls do get ahead of themselves here for Old Martinius. And they're going to be eating fire arrows and also getting attacked by the King of Bretonnia. But here comes the Mountain God, the Star Crusher himself. And he is going to be attacking into Lewin here. Lewin going after one of the Trolls. And I would imagine Kholek is going to be dropping the hammer here in a moment. Yep, he tries to, but Lewin does stagger him. And the Skull Crushers do get in. And a lot of damage coming in. Oh, he actually activated Star Crusher. 900 weapon strength. God damn. Look at that damage going down. Lewin is in the wrong neighborhood right now, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to be fleeing for his life right now as the Star Crusher, living truly up to his name there, dropping the hammer on the mighty King of Bretonnia. Chaos Warriors going to be flanking in. Spears engage against Armored Chaos Trolls, and the Archers are getting some pretty cost-effective fire. I think Lewin has learned his lesson in that for the rest of the game, he most likely will be avoiding Kholek and is going to be going after the Trolls and some of the Armored Chaos Warriors and whatnot. But the Chaos lines are doing well. We do see the Skull Crushers of Khorne breaking through the front line, and the Armored Chaos Warriors basically taking no damage in the process. Granted, the Trolls have been taking some work. We do see one Armored Chaos Troll getting pounded, and the one that Lewin and his archers did attack initially did take a lot of damage. Trolls rushing ahead of their support a little bit, going to be rushing into the battle lines of the Bretonnian infantry, and the Bretonnians standing firm, actually holding and poking back some of the Trolls who are on fire right now from the fire arrows of the Peasant Bowmen. So pretty cost effective there. They're shaken and stirred and are going to be running away. Really nice Flock of Doom as well from Bretonnia. Currently objective situation, objective 1 belongs to the Lady, objective 2 belonging to the Forces of the Dark Gods, as is objective number 3. Now the Grail Reliques are going to be big MVPs here. They're going to make these peasants fight way longer than they have any right to, and a risky play from Lewin actually going in, but he is the king of Bretonnia. He's not going to stand back and watch his minions do his bidding. He's going to move in and fight, but Kholek does have the blessing of Nurgle today, so he is going to be getting fleshy abundance, and he is on fire though, so it will mitigate the effectiveness of the heal. And the king of Bretonnia does have some infantry support on the ground and questing knights nearby, and with all that arrow fire, that's how Bretonnia evens the scale, right, with their combined arms here, as Kholek is going to be forced back, Trolls coming under to support a little bit, and the value is very, very close. Lewin thinking about maybe diving on Kholek again. Wow, that's greedy as hell. Yeah, with the Trolls right there, those Trolls might be able to come in. We'll see if it pays off. So, looks like Urandan's Thunderbolt activated. Kholek's getting a little bit low. I guess the Archer Fire is still active, so those Peasant Archers, even if they do 1 damage at a time, you can see it does add up. In the meantime, Skull Crushers pulling back, and they do get on top of the Questing Knights, able to get them shaken up. Lewin is now going to be chasing off Kholek, and wow, what a turn of fates. Man, impressive. So what the Bretonnian player can do is he could just fly over the top of Kholek, and sometimes that's enough to get... There's, like, routing in this game, it's kind of inconsistent, but, I mean, if you just fly nearby, Kholek shouldn't rally. So it's going to take a little bit of micro from Bohemond here, but we will see how that goes. But the Armored Legions of Chaos are doing a lot of heavy lifting. They're chewing through the front line. Questing Knights having a badish time. These Chaos Warriors with their mighty capes really, really laying the L-bonk in here. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Chosen of Nurgle pretty much in great shape, I would imagine. Yeah, sitting at about half health, give or take, and a fleshy abundance is really, really on the cards to fix them, I would wager. Yeah, I think that's where the Thunderbolts and the various magic of Bretonnia was being used. Oh, that was Kholek's Thunderbolt. That was used earlier. Okay, yeah, but the Flock of Dooms have been getting used on the Chosen. So where is old Kholek? Is he going to get rallied here? Good usage of Marauder Horsemen by Martinius to try and peel off King Lewin here, but they need to be microed a little bit more and run underneath him, but... it looks like Kholek is walking his dog right now. He's taking Kholek off the board here. He's going to put him inside and make sure he doesn't bark. And it looks like that's going to be the case, as Kholek Suneater is going to be pushed off the map by the King of Bretonnia. What an absolute Chad play from him. It was very brave. It was a bold strategy, Cotton, but hey, you know what? It actually did pay off. Grail Knight's going to be on the way in. Now, Grail Knights are anti-large, but they're pretty good at killing armored infantry too. You can move them into the Chaos Warriors, yeah, especially the tattered ones, and they're going to get some work done. In the meantime, Questing Knights fighting tooth and nail, but there are some erect Skull Crushers here, and it looks like the Grail Relique is going to be taken to Pound Town. That thing's going to be surrounded and most likely killed there. Skull Crushers are so incredibly cool looking. So there it goes. It is down for the count, and King Lewin successfully able to escort the big Kholek off the battlefield. Martinius needs to micro these guys a little bit more and keep them underneath Lewin. They probably could have had him down to about 10-15% if they had been microed a little bit better. Not the end of the world, though. So Chaos is going to start buckling in some areas because of the fact that they did lose their Lord, and now we see the classic Hellstriders being called in to help against the Grail Knights. So Grail Knights versus Skull Crushers would probably be a victory for the Grail Knights in a one-on-one, but there are Hellstriders here, and the Hellstriders are nearby, providing poison and anti-large, so that's a little bit messy. Now, we do see the Marauder Horsemen coming over to help out, and they are going to be attacking into King Lewin, it looks like. Armored Chaos Trolls also going to be surging forth. On the backside, a couple Peasant Archers going to be shooting away and doing some nice work. Meanwhile, guys, objective number 2 is here. Yes. And it has not flipped. So, oh my God, is it? Wait, how long has that been like that? Holy shit. Oh man. Oh, poor Chaos. That is such pain. They were kind of playing a stuffing strategy anyways. Chaos does have this objective, but now it looks like the Warriors of Chaos are going to be suffering and on the back foot a little bit. Some of them routed, and the game is actually called. GG, well played. So that game was fast. That was furious. More the timing of like an old school land battle. But yeah, even though the value is close, there was a fair amount of healing from King Lewin, and it did look like the whole Chaos army was routed there. And he also forgot to capture the middle objective, I think, for a long time, and that just pretty much cut his chances of coming back, I think. But, you know, Creative Assembly even added a little tooltip, so you can see if you have it now. So, yeah, it got him good. Chosen did great. Chaos Warriors did good. Honestly, guys, that game really just came down to King Lewin and his archers, really. The archers put in a lot of heavy lifting, defeating Kholek. Kholek had a big start, though. Really able to lay some L-bonks down. Archers got a lot of value. Look at that, 800 and 900 value on these peasant archers, and that's just from mostly shooting Kholek, I would wager. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Take care of yourselves, and we will be back with some sweaty Total War very soon.